guys, God bless. Welcome back to my channel. I am Charlene, and I have sort of it's not really a video request, but someone asked a very important question and I wanted to make a video. How does Proverbs 31 apply to the single woman? I attempt to answer that best way I could in the comment section. However, I feel like a video would be more appropriate because I can say so much more in the video. So we understand that Proverbs 31 verses 10 through 31 appear or seem to be in reference to, married women, a wife with a family, meaning children and the structure of their home. But I'm going to try my best to help you to understand how, all scripture is God-breathed, and all of it is for teaching and correcting and rebuking and this, that, and the third, without taking it out of context, of course. First things first, as a woman, please understand that the goal and design for your life is not different from any other women. The only exception would be there is a such thing as being barren or not being able to have children. And even with that part omitted, the role of a wife does not change. Like if you read through scripture and the wife, doing what she's supposed to do, it does not take away from most of what's listed here. So I'm going to go over this very quickly, and hopefully this helps any single women to understand that Proverbs 31 absolutely still applies to you. Without the surface thinking, which is, if God's will for you is to be a wife and to have children, then you just understand that this is something that you need to meditate on and have that heart for this even before you say I do. And of course, for people who may say or see that marriage isn't for them, or marriage isn't in the will, or neither is children, then I do have an explanation for that too. But anyway, very quickly, it says, an excellent wife who can find, she is far more precious than jewels. I would say a woman who is after God's heart, who is willing to accept God's will for us, which we were made for men. And with that being said, I think because the fall of men, the sin that has come upon us, that's part of the fall, that there seems to be women and men who don't desire the will of God, when the will of God was a man was intended for a woman. And we have, now that we're on the grace in the New Testament, Paul says, hey, if you're single, then you should dedicate your services in your life to the church. And it's easier because he even said that you're not tied down with a husband or wife. You're not tied down with children. So you have more freedom and you have more time, and you can invest more of you into the church. But oftentimes when people are single, especially women, they're spending their singleness and their singlehood focusing on when, how, and what to marry, right? And they don't really put much effort into the church, which I feel like is wrong, absolutely wrong. I won't go as far to say that it's a sin per se. Well, technically, if you're dishonoring God and disobeying him, then you are sinning. So if you are single, you're not supposed to be out here looking and searching for a man. The man is supposed to find you. And in the meantime, you need to dedicate your time to the church and to the services associated with church. So that's volunteering, that's checking on the sick and shut in, that's helping with children, food prep, whatever gift and talent that God has given you, because you do have some. You just got to figure out what you have and how can you apply it to the church. The heart of a husband trusts in her, and he would have no lack of gain. I would say in general, people should be able to trust you. Like, even if you aren't married, you don't have kids, can people trust you? Does your parents trust you? Does your sibling trust you? Does your extended family trust you? People should be able to trust you. You should be known as a trustworthy person. Because mind you, the idea is you should be in preparation of, for generation to generation, the mom, teaches and preps the daughter for what is to come as far as marriage and living pleasing God. She does him good and not harm all the days of her life. Just omit him and insert, at this point, if you are not under the headship of a husband, then you still are under the headship of your father, no matter what your age is. So you are supposed to honor your father until you are married, and then your honoring is associated directly to your husband. So with that being said, are you doing your parents any good? Are you doing them any harm? What is your reputation? What are you doing on a regular basis? How do you carry yourself? How do you talk? How do you act? What are you involved in? At this point, you should be honoring your mother and father. She seeks wool and flax and works with willing hands. What is your skill? What is your craft? What are you doing in your free time? Like, are you being productive? Are you seeking to provide extra resources and funding to yourself or something else? Like, what is your goal and purpose here? Like, if you're working, what goals are you working towards? What is the purpose? What is the goal? Do you have things for yourself? Like, are you taking care of your responsibility? Oftentimes, you'll find a lot of single women, they're invested a lot in partying and carrying on and buying a whole bunch of clothes and makeup and hair and stuff. What are you investing in? Because mind you, whatever habit you create now, it's going to be hard to break once you become married, when you have to think about a household and not just yourself. So be careful about the selfishness behind every purchase and deed currently. She is like the ship of the merchant. She brings her food from afar. How diligent you are, how hardworking you are, how much wisdom do you have? Like, are you preparing your home and your space and your mind to take care of somebody else? When you're used to living selfishly and all about self, coming into that idea of we can be very hard and complex, and you want to have wisdom in all that you do as far as your home. She rises while it is yet night and provides food for her household and portions for her mate. Are you responsible with time management? Are you a preparer? Or are you always on the go, always on the rush? I'm always running here, running there, grabbing food on the go. Like, what about your home life? Do you ever meal prep? Do you ever think of the option of, because a lot of people used to say, well, eating at home is just cheaper. And now they're saying not so. And I would say the main point of eating at home is cleanness and health-wise. Are you aware that always eating in the go, always eating out could be not as healthy as eating at home? So do you have a mindset to cook in general? Like, you still a person, you still need to take care of yourself and your body before you even get married. And practice is key with cooking. She considers a field and buys it. With the fruit of her hand, she plants a vineyard. What are you investing in? What are you putting your money towards? Are you preparing for the future? Because all these things can be done now. Like, do you have a savings account? Where does your money go to? Are you investing in any business or corporations? You just have to be smart and wise and prepare yourself. And again, I'm saying this and I feel led to go over this because oftentimes women wait until marriage and say, okay, we're going to figure this thing out. When there's a lot of this thing presented in Proverbs 31, you can practice on and achieve now. And it just, when you get married, then you understand that you have someone over you and y'all make that responsible decisions together, and allow him to lead in those aspects. She dresses herself with strength and makes her arm strong. Like, you make sure you're mentally prepared for marriage, because marriage is hard. Being strong also is associated with just taking care of your body, physical wise. Like, you want to make sure you're up to par, because taking care of a husband and children takes a lot out of you. And you want to be strong mentally, spiritually, and emotionally and physically, like all of those, not just having the willness to do. You have to make sure that you actually can, that this actually can be accomplished. She perceives that her merchandise is profitable. Her lamp does not go out at night. So you make sure you're taking care of your responsibilities in your home now, like you living alone. Like, make sure your priorities are straight. Make sure you're keeping the lights on. You make sure that you have, gas in your car. You have money for food, money for emergency, money in case your car breaks down. All these things that you have to take care of as you are a single person. And just making sure you're responsible over all of that. Anything that comes or arises with you that you can take care of right now. 19, she puts her hands to the staff and her hands hold the spindle. So this is, for me, I guess that will fall under just being diligent at your work, concentrating, focusing, making sure you're doing what is necessary, what is right. Being a single person, a lot of times you're career driven. You just want to make sure that you're career driven in the right direction, because oftentimes what happens with a lot of women, they're called to be at home and take care of their kids, or they find a way where their job can be done remotely or part-time. So you want to make sure your career field and your job opportunities are able to appease that. Like, you can get that done with whatever you choose to do. She opens her hand to the poor and reaches out her hand to the needy. Do you consider the poor? Do you consider the needy? Are you helpful? Are you lending a helping hand? You have elderly people at church that need help, which would be good for the single people because you're not tied to your own family, your own husband. Find out if there's a widow or there's elders to your home who needs help with taking care of their errands, and these things in the third, like things that make sense. Like, you wouldn't try to go help somebody else's husband or somebody else's wife. You would help those who don't have anyone. And like I said, a lot of women are left alone and need help when their husband passes away. The elderly women, the sick and shut in. Someone may need food brought to them. They may need their business taken care of. Like, the list goes on and on. Like, you ask the Lord to lead and guide you in these areas. She is not afraid of snow. Excuse me. For her household. Sorry, let me drink water. Whew. Sorry, y'all. She is not afraid of snow for her household. For all her household are clothed in scarlet. This is about preparation. Making sure that when the weather changes and the season changes, that you are prepared. You have the appropriate clothes and attire, that you're taking care of business, and have the mindset that, hey, if I'm cold or if I'm hot, so is my family, and I need to make sure they have what they need and dress accordingly. She makes bed coverings for herself. Her clothing is fine linen and purple. Purple usually represents loyalty and importance. So just, making sure you're taking care of matters of importance and not, I would say, not doing the bare minimum. Like, if you're able, whatever, give your best. Do your best. Take care of your home to the best of your ability. Take care of your children, your clothing, your needs and things to the best of your ability. Like, if you don't have it, you don't have it. But like I said, modernly, this generation they invest so much money in makeup and hair and clothes and going out and stuff, like things that don't help the whole family. Like, spend wisely, shop wisely. Like, yes, you can buy a $300 wig, or you can take that $300 and make sure you do repairs in your home. Like, be wise with what you have. Her husband is known in the gates when he sits among the elders of the land. So this one is strictly about the husband. So that obviously wouldn't apply to you. But you do want to keep in mind that if you do get married and your husband is known and you guys become one, then your reputation and what you have done and what you're doing can affect your whole reputation as a couple. So be mindful of that. Where am I? She makes linen garments and sells them. She delivers sashes to the merchant. So again, a trade, a craft. Like, you have your regular job and then you have a skill. And a lot of women go to, either you can sew or knit, or you can cook, bake. These things are gifts, talents given to women naturally. Babysitting. taking care of other people's children. That is a gift. That is a talent that can bring you additional money, income. And these are things that pretty much you're saying, like, prepare yourself in case you do become a stay-at-home mom or a mom who has children and you have to have a schedule that accommodates them. These are things that you can do around the schedule of your husband and your children. Like, you can literally be home and sail outside your home. Like, a lot of people do that. Or their barn. Strength and dignity are her clothing, and she laughs at the time to come. Pretty much be so prepared for whatever is to come that you are strong, that you are mentally ready, and it does not faze you. Like, it does not give you anxiety. It does not give you fear. Like, your children, your husband can come to you and say, oh, this is a need, or this is going on. Like, say your husband comes to you like, oh, I tore my work pants. No worry. I can sew that back together. The children saying, Mom, we're raising money for da-da-da-da. Don't worry. I can bake cookies. Like, be prepared and be strong about it. Like, do not be anxious about anything. Remember, you set the tone as a keeper of your home. Like, whatever attitude and tone you carry, it affects your entire home. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and the teaching of kindness is on her tongue. Are you wise? Do you speak intellectually? Are you careful and cautious about what you say? What is your intent when you speak? Are you intended to be kind or harsh or rude? We have this nasty attitude and reference to women being tough and rough around the edges. What is that profiting? Who is that helping? Where am I? She looks well to the ways of her household and does not eat the bread of idleness. Pretty much, she's not lazy. She's not slack. She looks to do things. She is busy in the home. Like, she's not just home. She looks for things that she can do, things she can fix, things she can create, things that she can correct. Always have an eye for what is the matter in your home. And you can do this as a single woman. Like, if you're by yourself, unfortunately, you do have to deal with the trash. You do have to take care of your car maintenance. You do have to take care of these things. And don't have a mindset of, well, I'll wait till I get somebody to do this. Or what a lot of women do, they use men to handle these situations with no intent of marrying them or entertaining them. I see it all the time. You want to be careful about what you do even before marriage. Now, again, you're under the headship of your dad, and if he's able to take care of these things for you, then, he does, and he can. But if not, then you know that you don't let the trash pile up because you don't want to do it. You go ahead and take care of it. You don't go months without getting an oil change because you don't want to deal with it. You go ahead and handle your business. Her children rise up and call her blessed. Her husband also, and he praises her. So obviously this is admitted because you don't have children or a husband, but people should be able to look to you and say, that's a wholesome woman. Like, you don't boast about yourself. Because what we have now is, I'm single, I'm a good woman, I'm a hard worker, I got my own money, my own career. There's a lot of bragging and boasting. But you shouldn't be walking around trying to toot your own horn. Let other people do that. Many women have done excellently, but you surpass them all. So this is a comparison. Like I said, you have the women in the world, and then you have you as a Christian woman. There should be a difference, a praiseworthy difference at that. Charm is deceitful and beauty is vain, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. Fear God. Fear God and honor his word. You can do that as a single person. There's so much information in God's word, so much teaching and rebuking and correcting that applies to you as a individual, not as a wife or a mother. And don't focus on your outer appearance, but your inner. Of course, keep yourself up to par. But focus on the inner you. Keep that holy and pure. Give her of the fruit of her hands and let the works praise her in the gates. So your works speak for yourself, your life. What are you profiting? What are you bringing in and carrying out? That speaks for you. That speaks volumes of who you are, how wise you are, and what you do. So going through these scriptures quickly reminded me that I went through them before with the contrary of being the wife and the mother. But I must admit, in the time, I did not think about the single people. But I do thank you for that comment. And I hope this was of some help to anybody who had the same thought process. Like, how can this apply to me now? And hopefully I did the word justice in making that plain to you, that surface level, obviously, if it's mentioning children and husband, that part doesn't apply to you. But also, I believe that this is preparation talk. Because mind you, this was information given to someone for the future and what is to come and what is to expect it. So if anything, this definitely should be gone over for people who aren't married yet and who haven't had children yet. Now, it doesn't hurt, obviously, after the fact, because it's never too late to learn. I had to learn some of these things when I became married. I'm still learning some of these things. But if anything, if you're single, definitely meditate on this. Prepare your heart. So, hopefully that was helpful, y'all. That's it. Love you all. God bless. Take care. Bye.